I'm going to be matchmaking every single main card fighter that fought on UFC 324, starting with Arnold Allen, as you can see, and I think he should be fighting the winner of the Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos fight. These two are going to be fighting in a main event, I'm pretty sure, in March or April. I think April, so it gives Arnold Allen time. I know he's not really too active, but I really want to see if Kevin Vallejos can get past Josh Emmett. I want to see Arnold Allen versus Kevin Vallejos. I think that would be a sick fight. Somewhere, put maybe in Madison Square Garden in November. That would be a sick fight. And if Josh Emmett can beat Vallejos, then yeah, you could also do that fight, but that's not really... I don't really care about that. I want to see Kevin Vallejos fight Arnold Allen. Yeah. I think Arnold Allen's going to beat I think Vallejos is going to beat Josh Emmett. And then I think that would be a banger fight. If Josh Emmett gets past Vallejos, I think Arnold Allen would easily beat Josh Emmett. But this fight is what I want to see. I think no matter who wins that one, it's going to be a sick scrap with Arnold Allen. I think we could see this year, Madison Square Garden in November. It'd be a banger fight no matter who gets the win and who faces Arnold Allen. Next up, we got Gene Silva, who's coming off a win over Arnold Allen. And I think the next fight he should do would be the loser of this, Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev. I think they're going to be fighting in the main event in London in March, in just a couple months. The winner's probably going to earn a title shot against the winner of Volk versus Lopez. The loser is going to be coming off their first loss. They're going to want another fight. They're going to want a bounce-back fight. Obviously not immediately, but somewhere near the end of the year or the middle of the year, they're going to try and bounce back, and I think it should be against Gene Silva. It would be a sick fight for any of them. And it would be a big test for Gene Silva because he just got tested really hard against Arnold Allen. He got tested a lot against Arnold Allen. That was a tough fight. But he still won pretty convincingly to me. And I think one of these guys would be a perfect step up in competition. Doesn't really matter when, but the loser of Evloev versus Murphy versus Gene Silva, I think that would be a sick fight to make next. Next, we got Rose Namajunas, the legend. She lost a very close decision to Natalia Silva. Originally, I was just going to rebook her against Alexa Grasso because that was the fight that was supposed to take place tonight. But Grasso already has a fight booked somehow against Macy Barber in March or April. I don't know when. I think in April. I think it's on the same card as Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer, but I don't know when that is. But this will be taking place on that card. I think the winner of this is going to be looking for like an Aaron Blanchfield matchup or a Manon Fiorot matchup. And I think the loser can get the Rose matchup. Either just rebook the Grasso fight. I still want to see that fight. Two former champions, two of my favorite women's fighters. It would be a sick fight. Or Rose versus Macy Barber, also another sick fight. Good scrap. But I think Barber's probably going to beat Grasso. And we're probably just going to end up seeing Rose versus Grasso. But I like that. That's the fight I want to see anyways. So I say just book Rose versus the loser of this fight. Doesn't really matter when. It's not that important. Natalia Silva, already the number one contender, I'm pretty sure. She didn't need to take that fight. She takes the fight against Rose. She wins, further cements herself as the number one contender. And I don't think there's any other fight to make next other than her versus Shevchenko. It's finally time to do the fight. I don't care when, once again, it doesn't really matter. Probably around International Fight Week, maybe. That's probably when this fight will take place. Yeah, I don't know when Shevchenko is planning to come back, but it should be against Natalia Silva. And Shevchenko is probably going to win this one. I don't know. Silva, she's great on the feet, but Shevchenko's just going to take her down and ragdoll her, I think. But that doesn't matter. She's the number one contender. She deserves the title shot. I think we should give it to her. Make the fight, International Fight Week. Let's see what happens. Next up, we got a banger. Derrick Lewis. Originally, I was just going to not match him up against anyone. I was going to get him to retire. You know, he turns 41 next month. He's been in the UFC for 12 years. He doesn't really need any other matchups. Like, he could just retire if he wants. But there is the White House card coming up, and I know he really wants to be on it. Donald Trump really wants him to be on it. So I doubt he'll retire before then. He'll probably retire on the card. And I think Walter Walker, no matter what, if he beats, who's he fighting? Marcin Tybura, or if he loses to Tybura, I think the Derrick Lewis matchup on the White House card makes sense. I think it's a sick fight. And yeah, it's either Walter Walker gets a heel hook and blobs Derrick Lewis around, or Derrick Lewis just chins Walter Walker out cold. No matter what, it's a sick outcome. It's a dope fight. Put it on the White House card. Derrick Lewis retirement fight. I think it's a banger. Waldo, Cortes, Acosta. I mean, this one was a weird one. He called out Curtis Blades, which is the fight I was going to give him originally. But then that would only leave Pavlovich and Volkov at the top, and they've already fought each other. And Waldo already just fought Pavlovich too, so it only leaves these two. Pavlovich and Curtis Blades, I guess, can have a rematch because they haven't fought since like 2020, I think, or like 2023 or something. It's been a while. But these two haven't fought each other yet. It's a number one contender fight. If Waldo can get the win, he's going to get a title shot. If Volkov can get the win, he'll probably get a title shot. I don't know where they would put this because Waldo's pretty active, so I would assume he would want to fight soon. I don't know how quickly Volkov wants to fight. I don't even remember when his last fight was, but I think it was like October or November. He should be ready to go pretty soon. So you can make this, I think, whenever, any of the upcoming pay-per-views. Maybe April in Miami, you can do it. International Fight Week, you can do it. Any of those. All right, we've officially made it to the co-main event. And I got Song Yadong versus the winner of these two. Batista taking on Oliveira. I have no clue when this is, but it's coming up. I think it's next weekend, actually. The first card after Volk Lopez. These two are headlining that card. Winner of this fights Song Yadong. Both banger matchups. I think Mario Bautista's probably going to beat Oliveira. And then him versus Song Yadong would be a sick fight. So I'm excited no matter who wins that fight versus Song Yadong. If they could get a win over Song Yadong, they'd be on a pretty good winning streak. They'd be looking for a number one contender fight. So I think, yeah, the winner of this versus Song Yadong, banger matchup. Big things for the winner of all of those fights, I guess. All right, moving on to Sean O'Malley. I'm pretty sure he's going to be getting a title shot at the White House, but I don't think he should be getting one. This is the fight he should be getting. Umar Nurmagomedov, number one contender fight, while they do Petr Yan versus Merab 3. Get that over with, see who's the real champ, and then while they do that, we can see who's the real number one contender. Both of them had a pretty boring performances. None of them really look like they deserve to be the number one contender. I think we got to put them against each other to see who it is. But again, like I said, I don't think Sean O'Malley's going to have to do one more. I think he's just going to be getting another title shot at the White House against Petr Yan, unfortunately. But if I were the matchmakers, this is what I would do. Sean O'Malley versus Umar somewhere. All right, matchmaking Paddy was a weird one. Originally, I had him against the loser of Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira, but I still think that is too high of a step up. So then I put him against Gamrot, was my original plan. But now I'm hearing that Dan Hooker apparently is pulling out of the Benoit St. Denis fight. So if that's true, I want to see Paddy versus Dan Hooker whenever Dan Hooker's ready to go. But if it's not true, and Dan Hooker does still fight Benoit this weekend, I would like to see Paddy just fight Gamrot, because I think that's a good fight. I think he could get a win. I think he could beat both of these guys, to be fair, but I also think both of these guys could beat him. Maybe not Gamrot. But I don't know. I think Paddy could beat both of these guys. It would be a good comeback win for him to prove that he's not fraud checked, because I've seen a lot of people saying that Gaethje fraud checked him. That wasn't a fucking fraud check. He went 5 rounds with one of the best lightweights in the planet. Everyone shut the fuck up. That wasn't a fraud check. Just because he lost a title fight. Like, it's bullshit. But Paddy, he'll come back against one of these guys. I think he'll get the win. MSG in November. Hopefully against Dan Hooker, because that would be a bad blood matchup. It would be really big. The press conference would get big. The build-up would be big. I think that fight would be sick. And finally, we get to the last fight. Justin Gaethje, the interim champion, versus Ilia Topuria, the undisputed champion. Gaethje's probably his final fight, but his final chance at the belt. Can he do it? Can he do it? I don't think so at all. I think he's going to get slimed out at the White House in front of everyone he loves. And then he'll probably retire there. It'll be a great place to retire, the White House for Gaethje in a championship fight. But yeah, Ilia's probably going to knock him out. Yeah, that's that, Let me know what kind of fights you would make. Honorable mentions, I guess that didn't make the video. I want to see Alex Perez fight Steve Erceg. He had a great fight against Charles Johnson. I want to see Adam Gaethje fight either Kelvin Gastelum or Shara Magomedov. Both of those would be sick fights. I want to see Josh Hokett fight Gable Stevenson at the White House, and that's about it. Those are the fights I want to see next. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one.